welcome to the This Is Metal show. And today we're having back our friends, the Atomic Punks. This is the guy's
Atomic
second
Punks?
appearance. Atomic Punks, excuse me. I'm so excited. I should say the Atomic Kings.
Okay, can we start over
I'm sorry, guys, but I was so excited because this is their second appearance on our show. But a lot has happened since the Atomic Kings were last on the show. Mainly, your bass player and one of the founding members of the band, Greg Chaisson, has left the band. That's, I think, a great place to start the interview off if you want to talk about that.
Sure, yeah. So Greg obviously has a great resume. He's been in the business for a long time, and he decided that he wanted to step away from it for a while. He's got a wonderful family, grandkids, and all that stuff, and the hustle that all this stuff requires to kind of launch a band, do gigs, travel, be away, all that stuff. He finally decided he was going to step away. For how long we don't know, but we're just going to move forward as a trio for now and continue to write because we've got a bunch of songs already in the can for another record. So we're excited to get to work on that.
So as far as bass players go, do you think if the time comes for you guys to do live shows, will there be a guy like, it's in the maybe touring band, but not an official member? Have you given any thoughts to that?
Not yet for me. I don't know about the rest of the guys. I'll let them field that. I mean, to me, Greg and I, we go back a long ways. He's an extraordinarily talented musician. It's going to be big shoes to fill for whoever's.
Sure.
And as it was earlier back, before Greg decided to quit, we were in writing mode because we had done what we could do with this. With our debut album, as far as like live performances and whatnot. So right now, to me, it's like we should get back into writing, especially now more than ever, because as a trio, let's see what we can do on our own, and I'm excited about it because as you mentioned it before we got on the call here, like I'm a solo artist, so I've produced records myself and, done a lot of writing and everything. So Atomic Kings will still be as powerful as ever. It's with just the trio for now.
Yeah, and I gotta say the Atomic Kings really at the time that the album was initially kind of put out there, it's just really available digitally, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, but that's part of the reason you hooked up with Fire Rock Entertainment. The goal is to get the album out, make it more available. But interestingly enough, like the reviews that the album's been getting is just really been great since it's first been put out there. There's been a lot of buzz about this band, and yet I think more people need to know that the band kind of exists, if you know what I mean. Interestingly enough, before Tom and I had you guys on the first time, I'd done a separate interview with Ken, and he was a super nice guy. And then I telling Tom about the Atomic King. Yeah, Ken Rock. and I was telling Tom, how great this band was. And oddly enough, he had started at that point talking to you guys about coming to Fire Rock. I'm like, well, okay, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's been fantastic. We're super excited about what's happening here.
Absolutely.
Really, looking forward to the second release, if you will, of the record. The wonderful thing is that we're going to have distribution channels that we frankly didn't have before. There's lots of folks that really wanted to get the record or the CD, but just you couldn't get it, especially international fans, if you will, that really wanted to get it. It just couldn't. The shipping cost for us to mail a CD was just crazy. I think to Australia it was like $40 or something.
Wow. Yeah. And it's amazing that an album has had such buzz about it and a band that nobody could get it. Now, Tom, let's talk about how you first became involved with the Atomic Kings and why you decided to bring them to Fire Rock.
Well, it wasn't me that brought him, actually. It was our A&R guy, Mike, was
Okay.
great. Mike found these guys and he brought them. We just had to figure out a way to work. And I have to thank Tone House Records because they've been just so gracious with us working this deal together. I mean, not many labels do that, and they let us come in and distribute it for them. And I take hats
Right.
off to those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really cool that Chaisson did that, and you guys had a big part in that too, talking to them. But this all came through Mike Wilkerson, who brought these guys, and there's not a bad song on their album. So how could
Oh,
you
no,
not?
no,
How
that's
could you
the
not
thing.
want
I
to sign
mean,
them?
I gotta tell you guys, I think you could pick any song, to release as, a single, and it would be a hit. I mean, that's how good these songs are.
Well, thank you
Ken,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Ken, like, do you have a favorite song on the album? I mean, it must be like picking your favorite child, right?
Well, I mean, that obviously that's the cliche statement, but yes, honestly I do. But the funny thing is it's a different one every day. I mean, today, my favorite song, if I was to put it in, it might be "Take My Hand," and next week maybe I'll listen to it and I'll go straight to, a different song. But I do have favorites,
Yeah.
but it seems to change
Yeah.
every day. For me, if everyone said you can never listen to any other song, you only get one, for me, I would probably personally pick "Take My Hand." Um, and there's a lot going on in that, and I think that one really features a lot of the different feelings of the band. I love what Ryan does. I love the rhythm section that's carrying on there, and that to me that song stands out. They all do, but I think that one that one is certainly one of the standout ones for me. But they're all my favorite from time to time.
How about you, Jimmy? Is there a track or two that really means something special to you?
Man, it's funny. It's kind of the same thing. Take My Hand is way high on the list. I just love the journey that it takes musically.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
takes some very interesting turns that the first time you hear it, you go, "Whoa, what?" So I like that. But much like Ken just said, it can change. Another big one for me is "Holding On." I
Okay,
just
yeah.
love that song. But you know, uh, you know, not to pat myself on
Yeah,
the back or the other
holding on
guys in the
is.
band, I would have to agree with what you said. I don't think there's a bad song on the record.
I think that's the toughest choice, is like, which one do we release first, as far as the
Yeah.
single. And it'd be interesting to see, like, in different parts of the world, if different songs are more popular, let's say, in the United States versus maybe Japan or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's already happened a little bit. We put "All I Want" out. Certainly that was that was a catchy single, and that's certainly what we wanted to do. And unexpectedly, some of the other songs got a lot of attention, and some of them even more. And I probably agree with Jimmy. "Holding On" is one of my favorites, and it's not each one of them outside of the song has a memory. What I enjoyed "Holding On" because Ryan and I, we were able to get creative in that
Sure.
one when Ryan and I it was just him and I in the studio, and there was a lot of behind the scenes things that went on there with some keys and some ideas. So
Yeah.
when I hear that song, it's not just the song I hear. It brings up some good times we shared while we were creating that song.
Sure. I'm going to throw it to Latha. You have any questions for the guys?
No, I'm just piggybacking off a little bit what they're saying. I'm sure that the musical styles that influence you and that you're bringing together, it sounds like you guys have a good mix on that. Was there any, like, I guess I'm going to say, was there any time that you guys felt like you had to, like, push your point across from one another to get that put into that particular song? Or was it just like, hey, I buy into this. This is great stuff.
Boy, not really. I don't think.
No.
Ryan, what do you think? I don't think so.
No, I think we had such a great flow together. There was always a point man, like whether it be Greg or me or Jimmy at the top of a song in terms of music, and then Ken was on basically left free to do whatever he wanted. And then when we got in the studio, Ken and I developed a really great working relationship, as he just mentioned. So, you know, it was very free flowing, and there was no bad ideas. And that's the best way to work, is like everyone has their say, and it's sort of a majority rule kind of deal. And sometimes your
Yeah.
ideas get shot down, sometimes your ideas are tried, and even like for me, I would have an idea and we would try it, and I'd go, oh yeah, that was a bad idea. and,
Yeah.
so it was and it's something to laugh about. It's like no one was too like really heavy-handed in the creative process, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why it moves so smooth and so quickly.
And maybe
Yeah,
that's
and that
why
may
it
be
works.
why.
And the music is so
Yeah, I was
good
gonna say that
because
might be why it works.
everybody is working together as opposed to working, against one another.
Well, look, there's a lot to be said about, you know, guys keeping their egos in check
Yeah.
and ensuring that, as you're writing and putting a piece together, that your first and primary thought is always, does this help the piece, or does this make me shine?
Yeah,
And
Right.
none of us ever took the approach of, yeah, but I need to show off for a minute. You know what I mean? We none of us ever felt that way, and we were all very
Well,
focused on ensuring that whatever we did was good for the piece, as opposed to stroking our own egos.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw it to you, Tom. I'm sure you have some questions for the guys.
Absolutely. When's the next album ready? No, just kidding. No.
Maybe
Let's talk about
we're
this album.
shooting for the end of next week, or maybe the first part of the following week.
Man, yeah, but I heard you're going on a cruise. You should be home writing.
Well, you know what? It's funny because it was actually the same highway. I always take my iPad and stuff with me, so I really do a lot of writing when I'm off on these adventures. It's a lot. As a matter of fact, "Escape" is another one of my songs that I really like, and the lyrics to that song were written on this road, and so when you're a musician or artist, it's not really a turn it on, turn it off this week
Sure.
or next. It's always coming through, and you never know when. So I'm always ready, and I have my iPad in my lap right now, really.
And Ken, I heard you're in Long Beach, California today. That's where I'm from right now, and that's where I am right now. So hey, howdy.
Hey, I jumped on the call later. Ken, are you actually driving down the road, like going 90 miles
Yeah.
an hour driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
An iPad and doing a Zoom call?
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah.
Ryan, I got a story for you on that. We interviewed Robert Starzo, well, actually the whole band of Hurricane, when their album was released last year, and he was on the way somewhere, actually driving his car too, and it looked like he was like on the back of a studio lot, but he was actually driving. He told me, I never seen anything like it. It was just so hilarious.
Yeah. I'm actually driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other people are the passengers. I'm actually
Wow.
driving the vehicle.
Hey guys.
Oh my
No.
Oh, would you
Uh,
be careful, please?
No,
I
I'm
mean, we
no,
do have another record we have to put together.
no, I'm kidding.
Oh,
It's all good, done in good fun. Yeah, just be careful because the cops they'll give you a
Well,
ticket for any.
our singer left for a boat, and we never saw him again. We don't know what happened. Shortly after this Zoom call, he went missing.
You don't understand, officer. Officer, I'm doing a Zoom call for an interview with the Atomic Kings.
Yeah,
Talking about my record.
obviously, I can't roll my window. I can't roll my window down right now. I'm on an interview.
Oh wow, it's fun. So Ryan, I got to ask you. I love where you're coming from. It looks like you got a little music room there, and I got to say, I love the artwork on your wall.
Yes, that's all. That wall behind me was all done by my daughter Zoe, who's a super talented artist.
Obviously, yeah.
Matter of fact, I use her for my solo albums. I've done 2 solo albums, and she's done all the artwork for them. So there's an album called Gadzooks that comes out in just a couple weeks on March 12th. There's
Yeah.
pre-order now, so if you want to see some of that artwork and see how beautiful the design is on it, just go to my band. It's Ryan McKay.
So let me ask you, Ryan, real quick about the solo music. The new album that's coming out specifically. Is it like a guitar-oriented album, or do you do vocals?
Yeah, it's more singer-songwriter kind of stuff,
I
actually.
dig that. Wow.
That's the bent of my solo stuff. You know, the thing about Atomic Kings for me was it's a guitar project, and something that was sorely lacking in my discography of stuff that I've done. You know, guitar is my first love. I'm passionate about it, but I'm also like basically a singer-songwriter and a producer. So there's, as Ken mentioned earlier, about like adding elements of strings and keys, and there's like French horns and all this sort of composition that's going on in the stuff. So my solo stuff isn't necessarily guitar forward, but as a guitar player, I write everything on guitar and then just kind of transpose it onto a keyboard or whatever. Like on the new record, there's a fugue that had a harpsichord. It's
Wow, I gotta hear that. Yeah.
And strings and stuff like that. So that's the bent of my, because I'm a huge fan. You got an Alice Cooper
Sure, yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Bob Ezrin. He was a huge influence on me. And like, if you listen to Welcome to My Nightmare, which is what you have behind you, that Kiss record on the other side with Destroyer, like those were the records that really informed my ideas of what music is, period. So
yeah, you know, and you know why that is, because I didn't know this myself at the time when I was first listening to those records, but Ezrin is a musician himself. He's much more of a producer. You know, he, like, if you know anything about the stuff he did with Pink Floyd or Kiss on Destroyer, like listen to something like Detroit Rock City. He was the one who came with the idea to have a little car crash event and that the little news report at the beginning of Detroit Rock City. Just think if he didn't include stuff like that, it would be a totally different song, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
like Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yes.
Would you say that that's guitar oriented? No.
No.
It's concept oriented. It's all these other things that happen, and that's what my solo albums are like.
See, that's what I love about the Alice Cooper stuff. It's very concept oriented, and they get very much, him and Ezra get very much into the writing. And
yes, yeah, that's exactly what my projects are all about on the solo side. And
see, when I say guitar oriented, I was meaning, was it guitar like instrumental music and that? So I dig it.
No, that's
Ryan is playing. Ryan is playing most of the end. In fact, maybe all of them. But I mean, it's Ryan's vocals, and Ryan's a great singer, and you know, he's playing the keys. He's you know, he's basically a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that he's never called me to put real drums on his records. And that hurts right here. Right here.
Yeah, now let me ask you, since Ryan is such a great vocalist, does he do any of the background vocals for Atomic Kings?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I got
absolutely.
Yep, I do.
And obviously everybody knows their place in the band, but I was curious, do you think on a future release, we might get either like a duet from from Ryan and Ken, or maybe Ryan take do a lead vocal on a track or something?
Well,
as long as we don't have to shoot a video and gaze into each other's eyes in the video.
Oh, shucks.
I was thinking that Ken and I could do a cover of Leather and Lace and sing it, together.
We're gonna do it out on a beach on an island.
Yeah, very romantic, very romantic.
And Jimmy's kind of the quiet one, I take it, huh?
Huh?
Jimmy's kind of the quiet guy in the band, huh?
Well, you know.
You're a peacemaker.
I think we're gonna have to do a better job of introducing Jimmy.
I happen to be the most obnoxiously loud one when we're playing, So
yeah. So Tom, can you let us know, as far as Atomic Kings, do you guys have an official release date for when it's supposed to start getting distributed more widely?
Yeah, it's April 5th is when it comes out worldwide. You'll be able to buy it through Walmart.com, Target, Barnes and Nobles. It'll be all I think it's going to be in
nice
800 record stores, just record stores. You'll be able to get it through the United States. Plus, I mean, thousands and thousands around the world. So you'll be able to order this. If you're in the Ukraine, you'll be able to order the Atomic Kings album and have it delivered to you there. North America, South
that's-
America, anywhere in the world, Japan, Tokyo. What we did is we did a worldwide deal with these guys. Some of the people say we just want to be United States, and we'll do that. But we did worldwide with these guys. We think it's more important because these guys are a worldwide band. They're world class, worldwide, and they need to be heard out there.
Thank you, sir.
And that's, yeah, and you know, to piggyback off of what Tom said, that was really one of the, we were getting, you know, possibly even more interest overseas, you know, Europe and you know, places over there really are into this style of music, and
Oh, no.
so they've really made that possible because, you know, what did Jimmy was saying earlier, you know, the shipping was twice what the CD is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I also got to say that Tom and everyone at Fire Rock has been absolutely incredible. And you know, the communication has been amazing, and it's really just been an absolute pleasure to have those guys working with us, and we really appreciate Tom and everyone at Fire Rock. It's been great.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, you know, it's a shame that, you know, there's this album, but there's all this buzz about this band, and yet nobody can get their hands on the album. Maybe we hope that will change. Obviously, it's going to.
Well, that's
April
yeah, that's
5th. April 5th. Everything changes April 5th for these guys, you know. And it's on pre-order right now. We got it on pre-sale. I think you
Yeah.
guys link.
Well,
More and more pre-sales are coming up too.
you know, Tom, I can't believe it's that time again to wrap it up. But before we do, you guys have any plan in conjunction with the April 5th release date of putting out a music video or anything?
Oh boy.
We, you know what, we hadn't really
Pressure.
talked a whole lot about that. Well, I mean, we, yes and no, we've talked about it. I know Jimmy and Ryan and I were talking last week, and you know, we're going to get together and just kind of you know, get a game plan and start going through that stuff, and who knows, you know.
Well, I guess it's that time to say goodbye. It was great having you guys back, and you know we're going to have you back on. What I'd like to do next time, once the album it does get released April 5th, have you back a third time. And what Tom and I would like to do is like a track by track kind of review of the album live on the air here.
That'd be a blast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Absolutely,
it's been great talking to you guys. Anyone have anything to say before we wrap it up?
April
Bon
5th.
voyage.
April 5th. April
Bye,
5th.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Tom, everyone, thanks again. Jason, you guys, great to see you guys, and thanks again for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
guys.
anytime. And Ryan, I think we might have you back to talk about your solo album, so keep that in mind, okay?
Oh, I would love to do that. My new album, Gadzooks, drops on March 12th.
Okay,
But-
we'll be talking to you after that. Bye. Take care, you guys.
Can
Take
we
it easy,
be in
man.
that interview also? We want to be in Ryan's interview as well.
Yeah, you can be in the back. You can be in the back of the band. He just has to take the
Yes.
center stage.
Yeah, I totally want them guys in on it, just so we can promote. April 5th is the Atomic Kings thing, so we're talking Gadzooks, but we can promote more of Atomic Kings. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
we can do both, right?
Yeah,
I'm like Gene
We'll get-
Simmons. I'm like Gene Simmons, man. I'm always promoting.
You're
shit.
setting it all
There
up.
you go. There you go.
So I'm bringing-
we'll let Ryan have the big square on that podcast.
He's a
I usually
superstar.
am the big. I
You
usually
really all are. So
I'm used to
it's
being
been
a big square.
it's been a blast. And this will be going up like in 2 weeks. So once I have the exact date, I'll let you guys know. Okay.
Sounds good.
All
Jay.
right.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Anytime. Bye
Thanks
bye.
again. Good to see everybody.
Take it easy,
See you
Good one,
guys.
guys.
Bye bye.